Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers. It is that time. That's right. For the Cortez Hustle Show, we're talking 11 ways to value yourself more. Plus, in my opinion, the number one way to increase your self-worth if you stick around to the end of today's episode. So come on in here, man. Click that like button, click that share button, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand if you would like to get a free business shout out. Listen, you never know who might want to connect with you based on you dropping your business name in the comments. Just do not post any links. I would appreciate that. And ladies and gentlemen, smash that share button because you're in for a treat as we rock out on this Wellness Wednesdays. We're always on Wednesdays trying to help you in some way become well, either in your physical health, your mental health, your social health, your financial health. Wellness Wednesdays is one of my favorite segments here on the Cortez Hustle Show. So click that like button, click that share button, and smash that share button and let us know where you're from, the name of your business and or your brand. And it is time for us to kick it. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network, and when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, also known as the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from myperfectmoneyplan.com. And ladies and gentlemen, if you've ever wanted to have your own business, I've been screaming from the top of my lungs for the last 6 years that a home-based business is the perfect weapon to fight the war on poverty. And I'm not playing, guys. And I want to invite you to partner with your boy. For less than $150, you can have your own financial education business. It includes a complete financial makeover for yourself, lower your taxes, get out of debt, improve your credit, invest in one of our 3 investment vehicles: land banking, private reserve, and real estate. If you would like to partner with me in a home-based business and let me help you build a brand that you can be proud of, that can build a strong 4 or 5 figure residual income for you in the next 6 to 12 months, then I need you to comment home-based business so that I can get you some information. If you're watching us or listening to the podcast, I need you to text keyword home-based business to 314-874-6887. We're talking Wellness Wednesdays today, 11 ways to value yourself more. Plus, if you stick around to the end of the episode, I'm going to talk about my number one way to improve or increase your self-worth. So again, welcome. Comment in the chat where you're from. Drop the name of your business and or your brand And we're going to get this show rocking and rolling. But y'all know me, man. Before we get the show rocking and rolling, I got a couple of quick announcements. And basically, I just want to reiterate, if you want to add another stream of income to your household, I can take on 10 partners. We're having a special where you can save $99 off the course of our membership for the next few days. So you want to act fast, not only for yourself, but you can also introduce some other folks and partner with us, and they can save that same $99. I want to help you get an instant pay raise by your next paycheck, but you got to be on the business team for that to happen. So partner with us in the Extra Digit movement, and let us show you how we're using a home-based business to fight the war on poverty. That is my announcement for today. I'm so excited that we are able to now bring people on and give you a cash flow credit of $99, and that's going to allow you to partner with us for just $129. Y'all know we start the show, every show, with the quote of the day. We're talking 11 ways to value yourself more. Plus, I'm going to give you my number one way to improve your self-worth towards the end of today's episode. So what is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show? It is this: reaping, my friend, is reserved for the planter. And that is the great Jim Rohn. Reaping is reserved for the planter. What does that mean? Some of us are mad as heck that we are not receiving blessings in our lives, but neither have we planted anything to receive a blessing in our lives, right? So you cannot get mad if you're not reaping any blessings, if you didn't put any seed in the ground to grow and to bear fruit. But here's what's really happening when it comes to the law of sowing and reaping. Most of us don't realize that the seeds of sowing into the universe are our words. And we're not reaping blessings because we're not sowing seeds that will bear fruit of blessings. We are often, with our words, with our tongues, sowing seeds of discord and actually self-sabotaging every single day by the words that are coming out of our mouths. So reaping is reserved for the planter. My question for you today: what are you planting? Ladies and gentlemen, are you constantly talking about what you don't have, or are you constantly talking about what you're in hot pursuit of, right? When it comes to money, when it comes to finance, we often talk about what we don't have financially. We often talk about being broke. We often talk about wealthy people as if they have some sort of disease. Let me help you understand something, man. You got to be careful about how you speak to, how you speak about, and how you speak on other people's success. Because if you're not careful, what you're doing is you're telling your subconscious mind that you don't ever want to be that. Why? Because your subconscious mind will never allow you to become that which you're despising. So when you see somebody having success and it makes your stomach turn and you have something negative to say about that person's success, you're telling your subconscious mind, I don't ever want you to be successful, because the way I feel about that successful person, I will ultimately have to feel that way about myself if I become successful. So your subconscious mind will never let you become successful, because apparently you despise success according to the way that you talk about everybody that is successful in your life, from wealthy people, from those who are just having small wins in their lives. Be careful how you speak on, about, and to people who are winning. You should be doing nothing but celebrating that success, because it's telling your subconscious mind, that's what I want for me, so that people can celebrate me. And your subconscious mind is going to go to work. So make sure you're sowing the seeds of abundance and prosperity, not discord, hate, vitriol, and all those kinds of things. Otherwise, that is what you're going to reap into your lives. That is the quote of the day right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by my good friend, sales confidence coach, Mr. Brian Keith McNeil. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, he's doing webinars every week to help you overcome your fear of selling. All you got to do is go to howtogetaclient.com. No fluff. It's a free workshop where you're going to learn how to sell more in less time, master the art of closing the deal, and how to get clients on demand. How to get a client, nobs.com. Connect with my man, Brian Keith McNeil. He is that deal when it comes to sales and teaching sales confidence, right? Vivian says, listen, words have power, and I am becoming better at using my words properly. You have hit the nail right on the head. So let's get into these 11 ways to value yourself more. I found this article on a website called lifehack.org. Lifehack.org. Let me throw it in the comments for you guys. We're not going to be able to read the whole thing. You can do that at your leisure. But I want to highlight some of these 11 points and give you my thoughts and my take on them. First of all, it breaks down very cool in a way that what is self-value? What is self-worth first, right? Self-worth and self-value play integral roles in how you see and treat yourself in your everyday life. Learn how to utilize both to value yourself through your words and actions. What is self-worth? The idea of self-worth comes down to feeling that you are a good person who deserves to be treated with respect. If you value yourself, you inherently feel that you are kind, compassionate, and respectful, and are worthy of those same things in return. Aligning ourselves to our own self allows us to move into more actionable steps that grow and nurture that worth, right? Now, what is self-value? While self-worth is more emotional, self-value is more behavioral. This is where we take the foundation of how we feel about ourselves and put it to work. Self-value is the driving vehicle that allows us to walk the walk and act in a way that aligns with what we value. This shows up in the way we talk to people, and the way that we speak our truth. Both self-worth and self-value feed off of one another. So let's get into 11 ways to value yourself more. Number one, acknowledge the inner critic. Ladies and gentlemen, we all have them. They are there. We all have that loud inner voice that isn't always kind. It interjects when we have ideas and projects at hand, and it often persuades us from taking that leap of faith or believing in ourselves. When left unchecked, this inner critic can have devastating effects on our self-esteem. This is no place for our self-worth to grow. Wrestling with this inner critic is often a lifelong journey, but a first good step is to acknowledge it. You just got to acknowledge it, that it's there. And when you acknowledge something, it doesn't mean you agree with it. And I think that's what some people are struggling with. So many people live the length of their whole lives with this voice on autopilot, never realizing how much of a dictator it has become. When you can pause and acknowledge that it is calling the shots, you can learn to take back your power and value. Man, you got to know how to put that thing in check, right? You got to know that not only is it important that you put it in check, sometimes you got to realize where the root of that voice is. See, a lot of us are running on autopilot from some things that we set up in our lives based on something that somebody told us when we were 5 years old. And that has become who we are today. And we are running our lives on autopilot based on some bad information. Somebody told us we wouldn't be anything when we grew up, and we internalize that. And every time we start marching down the road of becoming great at something, that inner voice, that programming, that software program tells us, remember, you're not going to be anything when you grow up. So you might as well not even try. And that's what we're doing. Number 2, this is so rich. Receive a compliment. Number 2, receive a compliment. The next time someone compliments you, notice if you're quick to send that compliment back or wave your hand dismissively so as not to attract attention. I see this all the time, and I'm guilty of it myself. When someone gives you a compliment, it's okay to receive it. A lot of times, and I have to thank Professor Joy DeGruy. She talked about she is famous for her work on post-traumatic slave syndrome, right? And she talks about why we do this. And it's deep, y'all. She said, the reason we don't accept compliments, the reason we don't acknowledge when people see the value in us is because there was a time in our history where that would have got us killed. That would have gotten our children taken away. She said the example she used is a mother is standing before the slave master with their children. And the slave master says, oh, that is a beautiful young girl you got there. Now, he's thinking as a mom, protection mode. Because if the slave master is thinking that her daughter is beautiful, she already knows what happens, right? She's knowing that if he's starting to googly eye her daughter, then he could be sending for her daughter in the middle of the night. So immediately she says, oh man, she's not beautiful. Oh, this little rag doll. And she starts tearing the daughter down in front of the daughter, but in effort to protect her, to tear her down and make her unappealing or unattractive in front of the slave master. Same thing with the boys, right? Hey, this is a strapping young man. He looks very strong and lean. Oh, this little weakling, why is she calling her son a weakling? That's not what she believes about her son. But she's trying to discourage the slave master because she knows if he feels that he is strong, he is healthy, he is fit, he's bright, then he's going to take that boy from that mom and put that boy to work, right? So because of years and decades and decades and decades of having to protect ourselves in that way, that same deal has become part of our DNA, and we literally do that right now to this day. Right now to this day. It was a force of habit as a protection mechanism, but now it's more of we've been so beat down by it that it just became part of our DNA. So the next time somebody gives you a compliment, watch your response. Do you dismiss it? Do you say, oh, this old thing? Oh, no, I ain't that smart. No, I ain't do that good a job. I'm just doing what I know how to do. No, say thank you. Say I appreciate that, because people do not have to stop and give you a compliment. We're so afraid of coming off as needy that we hardly ever receive the good word someone sends our way. Number three, be grateful for effort, right? It is not always easy to show up in life. We don't always stop to examine just how much effort we put forth in everyday living, right? It's okay to give yourself a high five, right? I learned this from Mel Robbins. She said every time she passes herself in a mirror, she gives herself a high five. And I thought that was so dope, because we live in a world, in a society where few people will compliment you. Few people will outwardly express and cheer you on. So if you're not cheering you on, who the heck is, right? One way to value yourself more is to be grateful for everything you do. It's easy to be critical and wish you'd done better, but you're always doing the best that you can. And this planner that I got from Brendan Bouchard, right? The high performance planner. At the end of every day, if you read your planner, it's asking you, what is one thing you did well? What it's trying to do is get you in that habit of, yeah, we love to beat ourselves down about the things that didn't go well, but you don't go through a whole day where you didn't do something right, that you didn't do something that you're proud of. You need to start acknowledging yourself and rewarding yourself for that and giving yourself kudos and being grateful for showing up. Because that's an effort in and of itself just to show up. So we got through the first 3 of 11, but now it is time for 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show. 1 minute motivation is where I play a short motivational clip, and we've been rocking to some Denzel stuff for the last 5 or 6 days, and we're going to keep on that track. So I want you to comment in the chat one of your takeaways, and I'm going to give you a couple of my takeaways, but let's get into 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
Because the chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, the faith that you have, that's what's going to define you. Never be discouraged. Never hold back. Give everything you got. And when you fall throughout life, and remember this, fall forward. Say thank you for grace. Thank you for mercy. Thank you for understanding. Thank you for wisdom. Thank you for parents. Thank you for love. Thank you for kindness. Thank you for humility. Thank you for peace. Thank you for prosperity. Say thank you in advance for what's already yours. That's how I live my life. That's why I am. One of the reasons why I am today. Say thank you in advance for what is already yours. True desire in the heart for anything good is God's proof to you, sent beforehand to indicate that it's yours already. I'll say it again. True desire in the heart, that itch that you have, whatever it is you want to do, that thing that you want to do to help others and to grow and to make money, that desire, that itch, that's God's proof to you, sent beforehand already to indicate that it's yours. And anything you want good, you can have. So claim it. Work hard to get it. When you get it, reach back. Pull someone else up. Each one, teach one. Don't just aspire to make a living. Aspire to make a difference.
Hoo-wee. I am telling you, that right there sets my soul on fire. Vivian says, my takeaway is never be afraid of change and new people to grow and help other people and yourself to become better. Man, that is so rich, Vivian. You are so right. We can no longer fear change, right? I love when he said the chances we take along with the people and our faith, those are the things that that define us. Are you taking chances today, right? Another one of my favorite quotes is another Jim Rohn quote. He said, it is the challenges that cause the muscle to grow. So stop choosing easy all the doggone time. If you're never challenged, you'll never grow. That means you got to step out of your comfort zone and take a few risks, people. Give it all you got, man. Give it all you got. Fall forward. What does fall forward mean? We hear that all the time. Well, if you're moving forward and you fall, chances are you're going to fall forward. So, in other words, you should always be moving forward, always be progressing, so that when you stumble and fall, you're always going to fall forward. Usually, the people who are falling backwards are the people who are constantly in a state of retreat in their lives, right? He also talked about having the attitude of gratitude, man, being thankful for everything, every little thing. That's why I wake up in the morning like, man, here I go again, God. You gave me another opportunity to get some things right. And I am thankful. I am grateful. Because you guys realize that every morning you wake up, the same morning somebody else didn't. I don't think we realize that. Every single morning that you wake up, somebody else didn't. And when I put that into perspective, oh man, I'm going to slay my day. I'm going to slay my day. I got another shot to go out here and win, to make my family proud, but more importantly, to make my creator proud. And then he said, man, don't just aspire to live a life, aspire to make a difference. When you get to your level of success, reach back. My man, Evan Jefferson, always says, we got to climb together as we build. We got to lift as we climb, right? I'm climbing and I'm lifting somebody up with me as I'm climbing. We got to lift as we climb. And that's critical for us, right? Having faith is difficult and the path of difficulty is challenging, but no, it can be done, says Miss Vivian. You are so absolutely right. So that is 1 Minute Motivation, brought to you by the Extra Digit Movement. Ladies and gentlemen, we are fighting this war on poverty, and we want you to come and join us. $129. You can have your own business in the financial education space. What do? We plug people into a team of experts that will get them an instant pay raise on their job, right? Within the next 7 to 10 days. Then that same group of experts will help them with their credit. You send them your credit reports, they go to work, right? That same group of experts will help them develop a debt elimination strategy to get them out of debt in a third to half the time. That same group of experts will help them grow their money in land banking, private banking, and real estate. That same group of experts will then allow you to market that service and make 4 different forms of compensation, right? We get paid daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly, multiple ways for sharing with people how they can get their personal finances in order. All you got to do is text keyword home-based business to 314-874-6887. Again, text keyword home-based business to 314-874-6887, and I'll send you all the details. But in order to receive this $99 cash flow credit, you got to take action fast. This promotion ends on the 19th of this month, which is next Monday. So text home-based business to 314-874-6887. All right, we're talking on this Wellness Wednesday, 11 ways to value yourself more. Plus, I'm going to give you my number 1 way to increase your self-worth. Some of you guys can already guess what it is, but let's keep going. So number 1, let me recap real quick. Number 1 is acknowledge the inner critic. Know that it is there and know that you have the ability to override what it's saying constantly. Number 2, learn to receive a compliment. Stop dismissing compliments. When people see the good in you, allow them to express that, right? Number 3, be grateful for your efforts, right? It takes a lot to just show up sometimes, and sometimes that's enough. Number 4, Forgive yourself often. Forgive yourself often. When things don't go as planned, practice forgiveness. When people hurt you, practice forgiveness. Holding on to grudges, whether from others or yourself, is like intentionally plaguing yourself with burdens that you don't need to carry. Forgiveness is the free remedy that can alleviate so much of our suffering when we hold on to bitterness. You guys didn't check out our St. Louis Social podcast yesterday on bitter or better. You missed it, man. But forgiveness is a big healing mechanism, says my girl, Chi Smith. Top of the morning to you, sis. Glad to have you peeking in this morning. And not only is it a healing mechanism for those who have caused you harm or discomfort. Guys, I learned this from Lisa Nichols. She says she does 3 things, and it brought her back from nearly having to from deep depression and nearly having to be on Prozac or the depressant medicines all her life. Now, there's nothing wrong if you are in that space and that's what you need to treat your disorder. But she said when she was diagnosed as deeply depressed, she went home and she looked herself in the mirror and she told herself 3 things every single day. And I've been practicing it ever since, right? She said, number 1, I tell myself and I use the power of I am. I am beautiful. I am bold. I am the greatest digital marketing coach on the planet. I am the best entrepreneur on the planet. I am the greatest hustler the world has ever seen, right? I tell myself and I use the power of I am. Number 2 thing she says she declares the things that she is committed to. I'm committed to excellence. I'm committed to the pursuit of my dreams. I'm committed to legacy building activity every single day. And the 3rd thing she says to herself every day, I forgive you for. Talking to herself. And I've been doing this, guys, and there's nothing like every morning when I'm out in my cold shower, I'm saying to myself, Cortez, I forgive you for everything that you fell short with yesterday, but today is a new day. Cortez, you said you was going to execute on this and you didn't, but I forgive you for that. Today is a new day. So not only forgiving others, but forgiving yourself often is the key to increasing your value and valuing yourself more. Number 5, practice affirmations in the mirror. Funny, we were just talking about that, right? And by the way, Lisa Nichols, you know, when she went back to the doctor, she was no longer depressed, and the doctor actually wanted whatever she was taking. Right? She's like, I don't know what you did, but I need some too. Right? Practice affirmations in the mirror. Words carry a potent amount of power, and positive words are like little miracles waiting to sprout. Oh man, I never heard it said that way. Positive words are like little miracles waiting to sprout, because the eyes are the mirror to the soul. Practicing speaking affirmations in the mirror is even more potent, right? When we can catch our own gaze and fill our space with positive words, we send the energy deep into our own psyche. But here's the deal with words. Words have to be, in order for them to penetrate your subconscious mind, they have to be emotion filled, right? If you read the book, Think and Grow Rich, and the chapter on the power of auto-suggestion, they cannot be empty. They have to be emotion-filled words. And that's how you penetrate your subconscious. A lot of people will say their affirmations. I am great. I am the best digital marketing coach. I help more people in 24 hours than most people help in their career. There's no emotion there. And it's not going to penetrate your subconscious mind. And it's only through the penetrating of the subconscious mind do you literally move the entire universe to bend it to your will. This is why a lot of people think affirmations are hokey. Affirmations or don't work. Affirmations are or they don't. They got to be filled with emotion. I am the best digital marketing coach on this planet. Nobody gets more results for their clients than I do. It's filled with emotion, right? And then when you're looking at yourself in the mirror, that adds a little bit more weight. Number 6, give attention to your dreams, people. Give attention to your dreams. Whether you like to write them down or in your journal or make a vision board, giving attention to your dreams is a never-ending cycle of self-value and worth. Your dreams are your deepest desires and wishes. They're your deepest desires and wishes. And when you can start putting them out where you can see them all the time, right? You guys may have heard my analogy of the human versus the acorn. We both have everything that we need to become the highest expression of ourselves. An acorn has everything it needs to become an oak tree. A human being has everything it needs to become whatever God created it to be. All we have to do is get in the right environment. The difference between the human being and the acorn is once the acorn takes root and starts to grow, if it's not in the best place, it can't get up and move to a new environment. A human being, though, can not only find itself in an environment that's not conducive to it becoming the best expression of itself, can get up and move to a new environment. But we go one step deeper. Not only can we get up and move to a new environment, we can actually curate the environment. So when you sit in your office, have your vision board, have your affirmations, right? So on this side is, what does it say? Stay humble, work hard, be kind. I want to remind myself of those value principles, right? You see family there. I'm trying to create an environment that will allow me to become the fullest expression of what God created me to be. Here's the other thing that makes us different, though. This is where the acorn has an advantage. An acorn or an oak tree doesn't know how to grow halfway. Paul, y'all got to get that. A tree does not know how to grow halfway. You put a tree in the right environment where the soil is right, they get enough water and they get enough sunlight, and that tree is going to grow forever trying to reach the sun. Not people, though. Not people. We know how to grow halfway. We know how to stop and stunt our own growth. A tree does not know how to do that, right? It's crazy. So let's keep it moving. Give attention to your dreams. Put them before you all the time. Speak them, see them, touch them, feel them, grasp them, put action towards them every single day. Number 7, let go of comparison. Let go of comparison. They say comparison is the thief of joy, especially on social media, right? Remember, social media shows a highlight reel. And what we often do is compare our blooper reel to other people's highlight reel. There's no comparison, right? I'm in my mind running through all of the things that I messed up on. And I look at what's going on in social media, and they're only showing me all the things that they did right. And I'm comparing in my mind all the things I messed up on my blooper reels against somebody else's highlight reels. I'm looking at me in a raggedy t-shirt on a Saturday morning with grass stains in it because I'm cutting the grass, and then I watch a movie where Idris Elba is in a tailored 3-piece suit, looking sharp, beard trimmed up, haircut. See, I'm comparing my blooper reel to his highlight reel. He'd had an entire glam squad make him look that way. Ladies, y'all do the same thing. Y'all compare what you look like every single day just doing your thing, just being you, to Beyonce on the cover of a magazine, right? Halle Berry in her latest movie. Y'all remember that they have whole glam squads making them look like that. And they don't look like that every day. But you're breaking your neck and your budget to try to look like that every day, right? We were watching Girlfriends, and one of my aspirations for my wife, I don't know if you ever seen the movie Girlfriends, and there's a point in the movie where they had been out all night, and the main character, Regina Hall, was getting ready to go and do her TV appearance. And she literally walked into the facility with sweats and a t-shirt on. And she's sitting in the chair, and she's got the hair person, she's got the makeup person, she's got the wardrobe person. And I was sharing with my wife, I said, man, you're going to experience that one day. You're going to experience that where you're going to show up the way you are, and you're going to have a whole team of people, for whatever reason, to create and help you enhance your beauty, right? I just thought that was so dope. But we're not comparing ourselves to the Regina Hall walking in sweats and t-shirts. We're comparing her to ourselves to what she looked like when she finally got on TV or the magazine cover. No, stop comparing your blooper reel to other people's highlight reel. Comparison is the thief of joy. You are as unique as a snowflake. There is no one else out there quite like you. We all know the comparison is the thief of joy. It's easy to compare ourselves to others and think that we're behind or lacking or in some lacking in some way. It's just not true, y'all. It's just not true. Everybody has their own season, right? And a lot of times we're comparing ourselves to people, but we don't want what they had to go through to get where they are. I'm gonna say that again. It's easy to compare yourself to other people without knowing what they had to go through to become that, right? Some of you ladies would not want to have to get up at 3 a.m. to look like you belong on the front of a magazine cover by 8 a.m. every day, because that's what some of these stars have to do. They have to be on set at 3 a.m. to get hair, makeup, and wardrobe on before they get in front of the camera. You might not want that, ladies. Same thing with us, fellas. These guys get haircuts like every day. Steve Harvey was getting his haircut and lined up when he had his box cut, right? Number 8, find ways to serve others, right? When we come into the practice of self-service, we simultaneously feed our own self-worth and value. Giving to others is more than just volunteering. It's offering something of ourselves that is uniquely precious and our own, and that's our time. When you find ways to serve others, it makes you feel good inside, right? Makes you feel good inside. Number 9, accept yourself as you are. Accept yourself as you are. A lot of people have this twisted that, what do you mean, Cortez? I'm not accepting myself as I am. I'm trying to be a billionaire. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to do that. This is what I'm trying to go to. I got dreams. I got to go. Yes. But there's 2 really important things that the GPS needs to know about you in order to get you to that destination. It needs to know where you're going, and it also needs to know where you are. So accepting yourself as you are does not mean you intend to stay that way. It means I have to be honest and truthful with myself. David Goggins, one of the baddest men on the planet, right? He said what turned his life around is he had to start telling himself the truth about himself. Meaning, he said, I'm dumb as a box of rocks. And people will say, don't say that about yourself. You're speaking that into your life. No, he's saying that is my life. And because I don't want to remain this way, I must first acknowledge that this is where I am. He said he had to take the test to get into the military like 6 times. But if he wouldn't have admitted to himself that I don't read as fast as other people, I don't understand equations as good as I need to, right? I had to admit that to myself so that when he took the test the first time, he wasn't surprised that he didn't pass. He knew it was going to take him a lot more effort to get the same results as other people. And he had already decided to put in that extra effort. If it takes me twice as long to read as other people, then guess what? Chances are it's going to take me twice as many attempts to pass this test to get into the military. Stop lying to yourself. Accept where you are, even if you have no intention on staying there, but that becomes the foundation from which you build. If I am in St. Louis, Missouri, and I tell my GPS I'm trying to get to California, and I change my point of origin to say I'm in New York, the GPS will get me to California. But it's going to give me a route from New York. So what does that mean? I have to first go from St. Louis to New York, then from New York to California. And that's what some of us are doing in our lives. We're lying about where we are, so we can't effectively craft a plan to get us to where we want to go because we want to admit where we are. Right? Accept yourself as you are does not mean I'm going to stay here. It means I'm peeling back the layers of the onion all the way down to the core and be like, this is where I'm at. Okay, this is where I want to be. Oh, I got some work to do. And you start building one brick at a time, one layer at a time, and you just keep marching down that road. But you will never get there if you're lying about where you are in the first place. Number 10, don't settle for less. Don't settle for less. If you're unhappy, notice that you are and start to ask yourself what would make you happier, right? Again, this is accepting where you are. You don't have to tolerate anything or anyone who doesn't bring you joy and contentedness. We often think that we have to sacrifice our own happiness for some bottom line, but that's untrue. There are always choices in life. It's up to you to believe that you are worthy of the best ones. You're not gonna settle for less, right? You don't have to accept. We all got choices, right? If you're in an environment where you're not treated the best, get out of that environment, right? If you are in a job where it's killing you on the inside, just showing up, just thinking about, they say the most heart attacks in this country happens on Monday morning because people are dreading to go to work. So that little bit of stress of thinking about work is killing people. If you go into a job that you don't absolutely love, you don't have to tolerate that job. Figure out what you need to become to move on from that job so you can get to a better place, right? Don't settle. Don't compromise your happiness. And let me say this, because a lot of people do because of one word. I want you to put this in the comments. Traditionalism. When I hear Derek Grace talk a lot about traditionalism, it just hits home for me because I've always been the one who thought differently and I thought I was crazy, right? Like traditionalism will have you marrying somebody you don't love for the sake of being married because it's tradition. Traditionalism will have you going to college and borrowing $80,000 to do it when you want to be an entrepreneur, you want to be a dancer, you want to be something other that doesn't require that in the first place. But traditionalism will have you doing that for the sake of being socially accepted. Now, here's the hard truth about that. God created us all to be interdependent. So we are social beings, and wanting the acceptance of those around us is critical to our happiness and our emotional state. But what society has done is they use that as a way to manipulate us to get us to fall in line. They call it social engineering for a reason. We are engineered to do the same things every day. So for me to not get up and go to work every day and get in that 9 to 5 traffic like everybody else, it's easy for the 95% of the people who do that to look at me like I'm doing something wrong. And I feel a little sense of guilt that, man, I should be getting up at 7 in the morning, going to a job too, like everybody else, because I want to be socially acceptable. When people are talking about their jobs, I want to be able to talk about my job. But you got to learn how to do what's best for you, regardless of what the tradition says, right? I love Tracy Ellis Ross' work on being single and being okay with being single and not being pushed down the hole of being married to appease a society that benefits financially and economically from the sanctity of marriage, right? It's like, no, I'm not doing that. If I find the love of my life, then boom, we might get married, we might not. We might just be together for the rest of our lives, right? Traditionalism is causing a whole lot of confusion in this world because our society is using our innate need to be accepted in a malicious way to get us to do things that benefit the powers that be, y'all. And we got to figure out how to break that and still be okay with ourselves, right? So I promise you guys, I will tell you the number one way that I think you can increase your self-worth. And that is to partner with me in business for $129. You can get your own business in the financial education space. And the reason that I say this is how you increase your self-worth, because a lot of our self-worth and our self-value is tied to our income. Hear me clearly. Now, when I say partner with me, I'm really saying starting a business. I would love for you to partner with me, but at the end of the day, a lot of our self-worth and our self-value is tied to what we bring to the table economically, right? And when you think about some of the things that were said in here, like serve others, the reason I chose financial education as my path and the foundation of my business is because I can make a dollar and make a difference at the same time. See, the average working American has just $50 left over at the end of the month after they pay all of their bills. That can't make you feel good. It can't make you feel good. I remember raising my sons, and because they were good kids, I remember the feeling of having to constantly tell them no because I couldn't afford something. Knowing good and well that they deserved it though. My kids bring home straight A's. Until my youngest son got to his sophomore year in high school, none of my kids had ever been suspended from school. So they deserved the world, but I couldn't afford to give it to them. And it made me feel good. So when you add the fact that a home-based business can fight the war on poverty in these ways. Number one, you start a business, whether you partner with me or not, just a business of any kind. Now, we just happen to have the best business and the best compensation plan on the planet, right? But whether you partner with me or not, understand how a home-based business can be leveraged to fight the war on poverty. Most of us are losing 40 to 50% of our income to taxes. Well, the minute you start a home-based business, you reposition yourself in capitalism so that you're no longer required to pay taxes in that way. A business owner pays taxes last. An employee pays taxes first and off the top. So the number one thing that you do when you start a home-based business is you give yourself an instant pay raise on your job because they tax you like a business. That means they take less taxes out of your paycheck. That's number one. Now, because you got an instant pay raise of $300 to $600 per month coming back into your household, that's the money that you need to start paying off your debts with, right? Don't be tempted because you got an extra $500 a month coming in to go get you a better car, better apartment, better house, better clothes, better bags, better wigs, better rims on the car. No, take that extra money and you pay off your debts, because every time you pay off a debt, it's like giving yourself a pay raise. You take that $500 a month and you start throwing it at your car note for 12 months. And inside of a year, you paid that car note off. Now you just gave yourself a pay raise. So you started a home-based business, got an instant pay raise. Now you are using that money to get yourself out of debt. So now you're out of debt. And guess what happens when you get yourself out of debt? Your credit score goes up. So just starting a home-based business, this is why this is our number one weapon against the war on poverty. Starting a home-based business got you an instant pay raise. That extra money paid off your debts. Because you paid off your debts, your credit score went up. You added another stream of income to your household because you started to get good at business. Now you're taking the money that was going to Uncle Sam that's back in your household. You're taking the money that was going to the banks because you paid off your debt. That money is back into your household. You added another stream of income. Now you're taking all three of those income streams and you're using that to invest. You're building your retirement. You're building generational wealth. It doesn't matter what you invest in: cryptocurrency, real estate, private banking, traditional businesses, paper assets, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. That for what you invest in is less important. What people need is a strategy to free up the money that they can use to invest. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We have the perfect business for you for $129. You can get started today. Now, our promotion ends in a few days, but for $129, you can get started in your own financial education franchise. That's going to give you the home-based business. You're going to get our expert tax strategist, our expert credit repair strategist, our expert debt elimination strategist, our expert financial planners and advisors to execute all of this stuff for you so that you can build your wealth. But building wealth starts with you not giving all of your money to Uncle Sam, not giving all of your money to the banks, right? And we got a system in place that can help you then share your testimony with other people so that they can understand that they're losing money by giving all their money away too. So if this sounds like something you want more information on, comment home-based business or text your name and keyword home-based business to 314-874-6887. I'd love to get you some additional information on how you can partner with us. So until next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. Now hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.
You're tuned into the Cortez Hustle Show. Please like and subscribe.